Yes, this is Mr. Controversy, and this is the infamous three-point conversion station. Keep it locked.
Yes. We are back inside the three-point conversion sports lounge. And I am your host, Mr. Controversy. Did you miss me? Man, oh man. Sports is back. Sports is back, y'all. We're going to get into that. But I hope you all are having a great weekend. Because I know I am. Beautiful day outside. I'm still alive. Hey, man. It's nothing to complain about. Well, I mean, it's a lot to complain about probably. But why complain when you alive? You know what I'm saying? But I hope everybody is safe and everybody is well. And I pray that you all are healthy. But once again, it is the three-point conversion sports lounge. And man, it's like I said, it's bittersweet, I should say. You know, sports is back, is great. But you know, it's a little different. But it's cool. We'll get into that later on. But it just seems like it's about to like everybody is feeling good on social network, you know, all social networks and everything. All the sports fans are happy now. You know, the bickering and everything seemed like it went away for at least that one day. I don't know if that's good or not, but still though, man, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, it's just, I don't know if this means we're getting back to normal or what. But anyway, you've entered inside the three-point conversion sports lounge. And of course, I'm not doing this by myself. You know, of course, I got G with me, and G is in the background doing his thing. But still, we say, what up, G? And then also, I got my partner in crime, my road dog, D Intellectual. What up, D?
What up?
How you feeling, bro?
I'm good. Can't complain about yourself, bro.
I'm good, man.
It's been a hot week. Hot. Not just with sports and stuff, but hot.
Yeah, it's been hot. Like, hey, I learned how to, because of all that, I learned how to swim this week because it's been so hot. Yeah, I couldn't swim, but.
For real? You couldn't?
Nope.
How's it going for you now?
It's going good, man. Like I said, I'm learning, whatever, you know. But hey, we got a great show ahead of y'all, man. We're talking about these sports coming back and how we feel about it. The emotions is, are we happy? Are we sad? I don't know. You'll hear about it because you'll definitely hear about it. Also, the NFL came back, and the NFL said that they are they've agreed. So training camp is going to start on time. We're going to dissect that because I just wonder how that's going to work out.
Yeah,
I really do.
Interesting.
Very interesting. Then baseball came back as well.
Yeah, it really did. And it was pretty interesting.
Yeah, pretty interesting. And then the funny thing is, though, well, not funny, but, you know, a couple of people, well, I don't know when they caught it or whatever, but said they had, you know, Soto has the virus. A couple of players for the Braves came out. They didn't play first game. They stayed home because they weren't feeling good. They was having the symptoms. They tested negative, but the next day they felt bad again. I got to see if they tested positive. I can't remember, but all I know is they didn't play. But if you've been around the team and then the team is playing the other team,
right?
I don't know. We're getting into that. And then basketball, that came back. We saw some players.
That's what you want to call it.
We saw some players. It's game one, so people rusty, but some players look good. I mean, I don't know how we can gauge. If this is what we're going to see, we don't know, but we still will mention some names. Who look pretty good, and then we're going to go ahead and talk about the Western Conference. Who's going to get that 8th seed? And who do we expect going to the finals? Then we got What If, Stop It, What's on Our Minds. So we have a great show lined up for you. Oh, and quick hits, of course. Let everybody know they could follow the show and look at the show and listen to the show live on 1100 AM WWWE, The Real, locally in Atlanta. Also, we are live on the 3 Point Conversion Facebook page. What up, what up, what up?
What up?
And then we are on iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio. So just look up 1100 WWWE. And man, it is time to get to these quick hits. Let's get it. So, first of all, shout out to Sharon Beats for the sick beats. So, man, here we go. Former heavyweight champion Mike Tyson will take on former light heavyweight champion Roy Jones in an exhibition match on September 12th on Triller, a music media streaming app that will be involved with the event. The fight is scheduled to take place at the Dignity Health Sport Park in Carson, California. So Mike is 54. Yeah, I said 54. He's 54. Last fought in 2005. Roy Jones is 51. 51, last fought in 2018. The crazy part is Nate Robinson is fighting YouTube star Jake Paul in the undercard. So I'm gonna ask you, when you see all of this, your thoughts? Like,
I'm actually kind of excited, man. It seems like it could be a good fight, man. Like people, like I know Mike is so much bigger than him,
right.
But you also got to think about the speed that Roy Jones had. The only thing right? But only thing I think about is the ways ever since who was it, Tarver that hit him, knocked him out. That he hasn't really been himself, and I talked about it on social media. If Tyson connects flush, yeah, Roy Jones' soul might come out of his body.
Yeah,
like his complete soul.
So, what you think about the?
I'm more excited for the
Robinson?
second fight. I think Nate Robinson is going to destroy him. Nate Robinson was a football player,
and then he got that little man complex.
Yeah, he gonna try to take it, knock his head off. And dude is taller, but he's not. Yeah. Not bigger.
And everything Nate Robinson does,
he goes hard.
Yeah.
And he is working out now. He huge. He already a little cocky impact punching, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He gonna knock dude hair off.
Yeah. Moving on. The Toronto Blue Jays will play the majority of their home games in Buffalo, New York this year amid the coronavirus pandemic. The Blue Jays will play at Silent, I think that's how you pronounce the field, home of the team's AAA affiliate, the Buffalo Bisons. So, substantial new construction will be required to upgrade Sideline Field. So, first of all, bro, what you think about that?
That's a lot. But I mean, I guess the only thing that I say is good. I mean, I won't say if it's good, but they're able to play at their AAA affiliate team. Right. You know what I mean? As opposed to trying to play at PNC or here or there. Hey, it's just crazy that Canada said, Canada. No.
But that's what we should be on.
Yeah, no.
We should be on that.
I mean, they want kids to go back to school. I mean, you think they gonna not let?
No, right. I know. I'm just saying, but they canceling the Republican whatchamacallit, but kids going back to school. Okay, moving on. The faculty of the University of Kentucky's African American and African Studies program has asked UK President Eli Capilotto to change the name of Rupp Arena because the legendary basketball coach's name has come to stand for racism and exclusion. It's funny because ever since I was young, that name has always seemed racist to me. And I couldn't remember, like, am I tripping or why? But ever since I was little, that name has always been, I always think of racism. Mm-hmm. And, they're saying it alienates black students, fans, and attendees. So in addition to removing Rupp's name from the UK basketball arena in downtown Lexington, the faculty requested that the names of enslavers, Confederate sympathizers, and other white supremacists be removed from campus building as well. Yeah, so
that's good.
That's
when you think of Adolph Rupp, even the what was the movie Glory Road? Mm-hmm. I mean, you see how he kind of was. I mean, eventually, I think he got to a point where he allowed blacks on the team. Yeah. With JoJo White, maybe. But you know what he was, and there was no question about it. And I mean, Kentucky. When you think of Kentucky, unfortunately, that's kind of what you think of. Mm-hmm. But I think that's a great thing that they're doing, and no one should have to deal with going into a school or place of business or anything with people that were terrorists and tyrannies against the USA. I think we talk about it all the time, even with Jewish people. They don't have to deal with a high school that's named after Hitler. So I think that we shouldn't have to deal with it either.
Yeah, no, you're right. Moving on. The ACC is considering various scheduling models for the upcoming football season, including one that would have Notre Dame eligible to play in the conference championship game. Because, man, I mean, Notre Dame looking like, yo, bro, okay. we here. What about us?
Right. What about us? We don't have a conference.
Right. Unlike the other Power 5 conferences, the ACC has no good teams. I'm sorry, that wasn't on there. My bad. The ACC has various scheduling partnerships, resulting in complicated discussions about what to do about the season schedule as a result of the coronavirus pandemic. Notre Dame has 6 games currently, so that's dope that they're allowing them to do that. They might as well. They have 6 games, but they probably need, you know what? And shout out to Rick. What up, Rick? In the booth, I see you, bro. They probably need Notre Dame to come in to make their conference valid enough. I think Clemson does, because they don't have anybody to play. That's starting not to be. That's a Power 5 conference, but it's not.
I wouldn't let them
right
in.
now.
I wouldn't let them in.
You wouldn't?
No, join the conference.
No, you're right about that. But I'm saying,
like they
I agree with that. Yeah, that's your fault.
and look what happens when you
right. I agree with that. But I'm just saying, I think Clemson because if I don't know how they're going to do the playoff format and everything, but Clemson can't go through losing or almost losing, beating everybody that's horrible. They need a team to beat a name.
They would play nobody this year.
They would play no one. So, but we'll see what happens, man. Moving on. Washington quarterback Alex Smith, who suffered a devastating tibia and fibula fracture in 2018, has received clearance from his surgical team to return to football activity. He is going through COVID-19 testing and expects to report Monday to the team's facility, where he will go ahead through a physical. That's what's up. He went through a long journey, bro.
Like a long one. Like, didn't he get real sick also?
So did he ever play with Washington?
Yeah, that's where he got injured.
How many games did he play? Was it the end of the season? I cannot remember.
It was like the middle or the beginning, I think.
Right. I almost forget them like I forget the team's name. But I don't remember. But either or, It's dope. That's what's up, man. Like I said,
the Texans, November 18th.
Okay, so I thought it was towards the end. Yeah,
November 18th.
So
I mean, that's big. That's huge.
And they was on the way to get. They was fighting for a playoff.
Yeah, he was balling.
Right.
But I mean, what does that mean for Haskins? Does that mean something for Haskins?
Nah, he ain't. Yeah, nah. Alex ain't playing no more.
You don't think he playing no more?
Nah, it's gonna be one of those. It's a feel good story, but I can't see how you coming back from that, bruh. And
PG came back.
PG didn't almost die.
I mean, that Grant Hill did.
Almost died?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
It would not surprise me to see him play literally playing football again. Especially if he the same
I
Alex
can see
Smith.
him play, but I just can't see him starting because you missed two. I don't know. But last but not least, shout out to Kansas City Chiefs offensive lineman Laurent Duvernay Tardif. Well, he will opt out. Did I say Tardif? Tardif?
Right.
I
knew it was going to be a hard one.
Yeah, I don't know how you pronounce it, Tardif or Tardif. Right. But either or, he will opt out of the 2020 NFL season to continue to assist with coronavirus pandemic in a care facility in Montreal, Canada. So shout out to the homie, man. That's big. You know what I'm saying?
Big, and that's really showing what's important.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, so shout out to him. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we will be back for Hot Topic. Yeah.
Hey folks, Handsome Josh is here to reveal some big news to all the AM 1100 listeners.
I have an app.
That's right, you can now check out all your favorite programs right here on The Real with the Real 1100 app. Whether it's sports, entertainment, or lifestyle, the Real 1100 definitely has you covered.
So why don't you just tell me how much it's going to cost me?
And here's the best part. It's available in your Google Play or Apple App Store, and it's free to download.
Actually, you can count me in on this one.
So download the Real 1100 app today and stay in tune with The Real.
Hey, what's good? It's your boy Nate Burrows from the NFL Network and CBS. When the illest to do it. Hey, you listening to the 3-Point Conversion Radio. Don't you go anywhere. It's lit. It's lit.
Get ready. From the oven to your ears, it's now time for the Hot Topic.
Yes, we are back inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. And I'm your host, Mr. Controversy, with my co-host, The Intellectual.
What up?
Yes, and this is the Hot Topic. And sports is back. It's back.
He really is.
You sound like a spoiled brat.
It's weird, dude.
Oh man. What is your take? What do you just tell me how you feel about it, man. So wait, first of all, let me say this. So golf has been there. I don't think there's no fans there, but
that's not gonna be a
I mean, you like the background, but whatever. You know what I'm saying? I ain't tripping off that. They had to be quiet anyway. So golf. What else was back? It was another sport that was racing. Yeah, I mean horse racing. You know, I ain't pay attention to fans anymore. I don't know.
UFC.
Okay, UFC. That was no fans. That was weird, but you still focus on them.
Soccer.
All right. Now soccer came back. Now basketball came back on. They showing like scrimmages on Wednesday. Mm-hmm. The WNBA starts today. We hadn't seen what that looks like yet. Then baseball.
I've never been excited and wanting to see a WNBA game like I kind of want to see the one today. I know that's kind of
right. No, but I know what you're saying. Right. I feel you on that. So, watching all of that now, you saw the baseball games, you saw the basketball games. Mm-hmm. Just tell me what you're thinking, man.
So initially, I had my opinions on it. I didn't think they should start. I think the focus should stay on social injustice, let it do what it do, and then, start the season back up when the seasons really start. Because, I mean, even let's say we, for basketball, had it just started regularly in October. We still only 2 months away, right? Like, we could have figured it out for those 2 months. A friend of mine, asked me a question about it. Shout out Low. Asked about how do I feel about it, and what the NBA is doing. I actually think the NBA is doing a wonderful job, right? Like, they're doing everything they can do. You see Black Lives Matter. You see that what they're speaking on, and give a special shout out to Mike Scott, LeBron James, and Tobias Harris. They spoke out on what's most important right now: social injustice, Breonna Taylor killers not being arrested, and I also like to shoot in there. Breonna Taylor killers need to be arrested. But I mean, above that, I think basketball will pull more attention away from it. I'm gonna tell you why. Who watches baseball on TV already? Baseball doesn't really have ratings like that because people don't watch full baseball games on TV. You know what I mean? So they can't go to the games already. They're not really gonna watch it on TV. Even if it's nothing else to do, I don't think people will watch baseball because you got to be like wired a different way to watch a whole baseball game.
Right.
I did one last night, but I think once these basketball games start, we talking about 6 games a day. I think that's what's going to be interesting and how it's going to look. I think that with fans there, without fans there are 2 players that I see that it's not going to matter one way or the other, and they're the top 2 for the MVP. LeBron James and Giannis. It don't matter if nobody else was in the gym. Those 2 going hard,
right.
And LeBron looking like he in his 5th year, and Giannis looking great too. What you think?
Well, I'm like G first. G, when you saw, first of all, what up, G? Let everybody know G is here. I told you. But G, when you saw basketball, and if you peeped at baseball game, like, what were your thoughts? Just reactions, how it looked and everything.
It's going to take some getting used to because, there are no crowds. The only thing that you hear is, during basketball, like the squeaky sneakers, the occasional bench player standing up, clapping or whatever. Which is because they are socially distancing too. I thought that was an interesting setup. It's just going to take some getting used to. Like, this is what we have now. This is what sports is for right now. So it's just going to take some getting used to because this is what we got. I mean, people wanted sports so bad. They're gambling on marble races and darts. That to have basketball and baseball for right now, it's a relief, but it's different. It's not what it was before. So that's what it is.
When I watched the basketball game, like, it was empty. It looked like, I'm surprised none of y'all said it so far. It looked like a mix between Summer League and a pickup game.
Yep.
I mean, like,
well, yeah,
we at the Y, like, you know what I'm saying?
The way that I saw it, it was going to be, though, and the way that it was described as far as the bubble, it's going to be empty. They're playing in this gym. Basically, it's going to look like AAU or those pro-ams you normally see over the summer. Where, I mean, it would look like a pickup game. So that's how.
Man, I mean, it was
that's
just.
What we could expect.
It was weird. And then you see the players, like you said, sitting on the bench. They look like the bench players on Arch Rival, the Nintendo game. Like, the way they was, it just looked weird. Like they was watching a movie. Yeah. Then watching baseball, that was like, first of all, they need to take the fake fans off. I'm sorry. Yeah. Take that out because that ain't doing anything. That's making it look.
That's for the players. I think it's psychological. To be able to, like, absolutely. If you see the fans, even if they're like just, in your peripheral, to have that feeling that there are fans here and that the ambient noise, that's psychological for the players to play as normal as they possibly can. Yeah, even though there might be that player who actually plays better in silence.
Yeah.
Right.
And then next year, if the crowds come back, he's going to be
like
bad
for
again.
instance, Giancarlo Stanton, right? He had a home run on the opener, right? And I think it was good for him because he played 18 games last year. He played 30-something games a year before. So in 2 years, they probably gave him about $70 million.
Right.
But he hasn't really done anything. Not to say that they would have booed him, but that would have been more pressure, right? So he was able to step up there. I think he got a home run and a single.
Are you talking about playing without fans?
Yeah, I think that's one of the people that it probably helped.
Is he the one who hit a home run and then like you saw where the ball was? It's like that ball's probably going to sit there for about 8-9 months.
But somebody actually came and got it like 10 minutes later. Like, Custer wasn't no fan, but somebody came and got it. But that's exactly who it was.
Mookie, I was watching the game. Mookie Betts. I was actually talking to D when this happened. He caught a foul ball like close to the stands, whatever. He caught it, and then he saw one of the balls that was a foul ball right there. He reached over and picked it up. Then he looked in the crowd and threw it to like center field in the crowd. And I was like, "Yo, who is he throwing it to?"
Just used to doing that.
Yeah, I don't know. So we talked about how will the players adapt. Do you think they will be adapt? Had you seen anybody so far seem like it was kind of because I think with basketball, once
you start,
I think players with them once they start playing, and now you can hear everybody clearly. Hey, move over. I mean, you can do that. They can hear each other when they play in the NBA, but you can definitely, as a player, probably hear everybody clearly. Hear the coaches yelling. Before Phil would have to do the famous whistle. Right. Now Phil can yell from on the other side, and you can hear what he's saying. I think that they will adapt. As far as the baseball players, I don't know.
Yeah,
I think some will, like you said, some is no pressure of getting that, but at the same time, you miss, like, I can't think about it. You got some players that relish the booze or relish being on the road.
Like Scherzer, I think he gets off on the crowd.
Right.
You know what I mean? But then I think of some hitters, right? Like, it could be almost batting practice for them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
so
that may work for them.
Yeah, because you said they might be relaxed now.
But I think a lot of pitchers, not even a lot of pitchers, some pitchers like a Scherzer or people like that, or Sorian, what's his name? The Yankees closer. I can't think of his name right now.
The main closer,
Aroldis Chapman, like him, he gets
not
fired
Yankees,
up.
He got who is he with now? He's not with the Yankees anymore.
He not? Oh, but yeah, man. Just like players like that, I think that they get off on it. Like,
yeah, he's
still with it. I thought he. No, you know what? I'm thinking of somebody else. He got the coronavirus, right? Yeah. I was thinking of somebody else, but yeah. Now,
like Scherzer gave up 4 or 5 runs, they would never give up.
Right, but look. So, do you think the dynamic will be different once the playoffs start? Because that's the biggest thing. Because, with basketball, can you see? It's game 6. A game 7, no fans, and it's still like, what up,
it's
dog?
It's gonna be weird, yo.
Like, as a fan, how?
It's already gonna be weird.
That's gonna be weird, but
as a player, I think it's even gonna be weird because you used to the boos. You used to, while you standing at the line, all this stuff going and fans hollering, and all this going on.
Don't let you dunk on somebody,
right?
Or,
I want Joakim Noah to get a rebound, or get an air one or something.
Right. You hear him?
I wish Boozer was still in the game because he used to be loud.
Yeah, he used to be loud.
But I think it's gonna be weird. I think the dynamic will change because of energy, but I don't think it's gonna be like it was before, even for the players.
Yeah, because you hear a lot of players talk about that. I mean, of course, the fact that it's the playoffs, you know what's about to happen. You're going to get up regardless. If you don't get up for that, something wrong with you. But still walking on the court, whether it's boos or cheers, that's getting your adrenaline going. You don't have that anymore.
Yep.
I mean, you might
just kind of like going out there.
You might look over and see.
You're in a warm-up line and you might
look over and see Taylor Rooks, it might get you, going. Other than that, I don't know. I don't see the motivation. So, what about baseball though? Do you think?
I think that alone. I think baseball is going to be better off than basketball, just because it's a more thinking sport.
Right.
It's not as much. Basketball is kind of like reaction, right? Like you react, you do like that. Baseball is more thinking, and I think that it's just going to be more chill, and overall they're going to be easier to do.
So before we go, which is harder to get used to, baseball or basketball? You think?
Harder basketball.
Yeah. You know what? You're right, because I watched baseball last night, and I found myself into the game. Because it's still you're still paying attention.
Exactly.
Because all you hear in the baseball game, look, this is what you hear. You hear the background. That's all you hear. Even though I love that, you know what I'm saying, Ben? You hear but everybody's just talking and mumbling or whatever.
For the most part, you're paying attention to the game.
Like the fans don't get into it, like unless it's in the playoffs.
Or they it's 2 outs. 2 men on.
Yeah,
it's a
that's
3-2
what you hear,
count.
right.
Bottom of the 7th, 1-run game.
Right.
Now you hear them get up for the home team. Come on, get this strikeout.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
For the most part, they chilling.
Yeah,
eating peanuts and hot dogs.
I'm just tired of hearing the announcer. You can hear him. You heard the announcer, doing it. He at the house. You hear him. Look, you can hear him like this. Hey, get over there. Get over. Yeah, so the game is like, bro.
I kind of got tired of hearing A-Rod. He's not he's not Tony Romo. Let's put it that way. I like him as a baseball player, but he's not Tony Romo.
Right. All right, man. So we'll see. We'll keep monitoring this and see how we feel next week. But the first 2 days was kind of weird. But kind of glad it's back in a sense. Mixed emotions. All right, we're gonna take a quick break. Now it's time to dive into the NFL. Don't go anywhere.
Attention, radio station listener. This might make you say, "Oh my God." Get this station in 1,500 live stations, plus a custom station you can create all in one. Right now. Download the free app now at iHeartRadio.com. Oh my God.
Hey, I'm Stephon Gilmore for the New England Patriots. You listen to the 3-Point Conversion. 3-Point Conversion. 3-Point Conversion.
All right, we are back inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. So, NFL and NFLPA have agreed on the terms. They are with the health terms, and they're back. Training camp is going to start as expected. Your thoughts on that, man? Do you agree with this, or are you? Before I even ask you, do you agree? What are you? I mean, besides who gets it or whatever, but what are you most concerned of? Like how it spreads? Are you concerned, or are you watching how the players react, how they will play? Like, what are you watching for now?
That football has no plan. So basketball went through their plan like weeks,
right,
and did everything, and football is just like, yeah, we're gonna test every day, and we're not gonna play preseason games.
There's a problem with their method, of course, is that when the pandemic shut everything down in March, football's in their off season, but because people kept saying, oh, well, maybe by July, everything will be back to normal. And there's nothing that shows that anything was going even in that direction.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So I think the NFL failed the players in that regard by not having the foresight to think of, well, what can we do if things are off schedule? They just went as if everything was on schedule. It's kind of like when, you see a football game and you hear about the first 15 plays are scripted. They ran those plays no matter what, even though all the conditions changed.
So let me ask you this, though. How do you think the NFL could have prepared or could have came up, what plan could they have come up with dealing with what they have to deal with? Like, NBA is different.
That's what I'm saying. I honestly don't think that they could have.
And I think that's why, right.
You can't do no bubble for the NFL.
Yeah.
If you do a bubble for the NFL, you got to have like 8 bubbles across the country.
Right. You have to take over a state.
You know what I mean? Like, you literally got to have.
No, it would be more than a state. It's got to be like 5.
Right. That's what I'm saying. You got to have bubbles everywhere. Because you talking about, first off, they're doing it's already set as 60 players, right?
Well, right now, 80.
Right now, 80.
I think overall it's going.
I think they could start with 90 and they can go to 80.
No, they start with 80. They start with 80. So they already went down from 90. They got to start with 80, and then it goes down. Like, so already they're missing. They already tried to take that down.
Right.
So what would they do? What could they do?
And then now we're just talking about just players, right?
Yeah.
Now we're not talking about coaches. We're not talking about video. We talking about like tens of thousands of people,
bruh. So I think their thing was let's see how the NBA and everything happens. Now since theirs working, it's like, oh man,
what we gonna do?
But again, it is like they didn't have a choice. They didn't know what. I understand what the players feel like, and I think they could have came up with a better health plan.
Way better.
I get that part, but as far as just,
and they have nothing for if you opt out. I think they're working on getting like $250,000 if you opt out. Dude, I'm supposed to make $36 million this year, or
right.
$22 billion, or you know what I'm saying. Another thing is, so for 60 minutes we can tackle each other, right? Hit each other, catch each other, spin around on all of that. But at the end of the game, we can't switch jerseys or shake hands.
Yeah.
I mean, like, how does that make any type of sense?
No, that doesn't. And I just don't think that. I don't think that they could have. I think health wise, they could have came with a better. Made it seem like they trying, but we all know the NFL was going to try to do this regardless. So, how will they be able to protect themselves against the pandemic? Then, if I understand they have the what is it called?
Face guard, the mouth guard that they're trying to work on. That J.J. Watt said he's not playing with.
The Charles Oakley.
Right.
No, it's playing. I know it's called the Oakley.
that J.J. Watt said he ain't playing with.
Yeah. Like, so how can they? Because here's the thing, and this was with. Well, I guess the NBA. I want to know with the NBA, but right now it's been good. Worrying about when the players that left the bubble come back. But, and God forbid, I pray to God that this doesn't happen. But if someone gets it, a big name, and it's likely to happen because they're going home, wives and everything, we don't know what they're doing. What does the NFL do then?
I don't think they stop it unless that person gets sick. So if you look at the NBA, they're like, well, if a big name get it, what's going to happen? Russell Westbrook is probably one of the biggest names. He got it. What happened?
But the difference is, though, when he got it, I don't know if he was around the team at the time, so they was able to quarantine anyway. He quarantined. They left in the bubble. But if you get it, we don't know.
If they have a bubble, if somebody in the bubble gets it.
No, I'm not talking about Russell. I'm saying like a football player. If I get it, it's like with baseball. If we get it, we're not in the bubble. I get it. I get tested. I find I have it. I've been sick. I don't know who I've affected so far. Whatever. Do we say, all right, well, we're going to sit them down and just keep playing? Or will we shut that? Like, how do you handle that?
Well,
and what if it's a big name?
I mean, it's an automatic 3 weeks.
Right.
They go on the coronavirus IL for 3 weeks.
I mean, I get that, but what if how do you know if you hadn't affected anyone else?
I mean, this is the whole thing with everything. Like, this is part of the coronavirus.
Right. I'm saying because, like, with the bubble, at least the bubble so far, it is what they're telling us, and I believe them, no one has tested positive. Everybody is there. No one has tested positive. But baseball, we've already seen somebody.
So the funny thing with that, talking to nurses that I spoke to and things like that, you can still have the virus in your body after 4 or 6 weeks, but it's supposed to only be contagious for the first 2 or 3. Like, it's so many unknowns that I think that's the biggest thing for me, right?
Right.
Like, nobody really knows. Every day you wake up, you talk about it, you hear it on the news, or you listen to it, or you read about it. It's something new. You know what I mean? So it's a risk, man, and I just don't think this was really worth it. But we know overall what it's about. I mean, for the players, right? I know it's about playing ball.
Yeah.
Right. But for the people above them, the owners, we know what it's about. It's about that bag, about the money. That's what it is.
And like I said, I don't know if I said this last week or not, but I do commend. No, I didn't. I do commend the players because it's so weird. NBA. Even Major League Baseball, they were more about their money. Look, I ain't playing if we ain't getting paid. But the NBA, which has the most leverage as far as players, really didn't speak up about how they felt. Now, some players sat down, the infamous meeting with Kyrie and them guys, and they sat down and talked about how we feel about should we play. But only maybe Dwight Howard and a couple other people was vocal. That was it. The NFL, where the owners definitely run them and the players are not allowed to speak their minds, which they don't normally do, they came out, everybody been vocal. Kickers coming out, look, I don't know, Joe. I
think it's because they have no plan. At least the NBA had a plan. They got all these people involved. They did numbers.
And the thing also with the NBA, with them having a plan, they started working on a plan early, immediately. After they had to shut down. Like, how can we restart?
When they show up tomorrow, today, don't somebody show up today to Texas and
they just finalized the plan
day before yesterday,
right before the show started.
Hey, Washington even came up. I mean, it's weird, but they even came out with a plan. Hey, we just gonna be called the Washington Players. At least they came out with
Washington football team. But I know LeBron.
That takes a long time.
Right.
That takes a long
time.
My
point, though.
This exactly like this takes a long time to figure out. So
they
should have taken the time.
They actually let the Washington football team get ahead of the entire NFL or something.
Which
they're like, we gonna change the name? Okay, we're just gonna be the Washington football team, and we'll figure it out later.
Right.
You gave yourself more time.
Exactly. And I get what LeBron said. He was like, hey man, they went in the office. It was like, hey, this is way more than what we thought it was.
Let's go ahead and do something.
Let's sit back. Let's call us the Washington, just like the New York football, the Washington football team.
But look,
we're gonna take our time because first off, this dude done got every name that we thought.
Look, because Snyder doesn't want to change the name. He didn't want to change it in the first place. He definitely wasn't want to change it again.
But the NFL sitting there like,
right?
Hey, the NFL been sitting there like,
we're gonna see what's gonna happen. And then it got to 2 weeks to the thing, and everybody like, did y'all figure out what y'all was gonna do? They like, we thought it wasn't gonna work for the NBA, so we really wasn't thinking that far ahead.
Like my father used to tell me, I'd be like, Daddy, can we go yet? He'll be like, yeah, just in a minute. All right. Then I come back. Daddy, are we going to go yet? I'll let you know in a few. Daddy, what's a few?
We ain't going nowhere.
I said, what's a few? It's 20 minutes. Like,
you keep asking me where you're going.
Like, they just didn't have no plan. They didn't have any plan.
How you not have a plan? And we're literally a week from almost all teams reporting, right?
Mm-hmm.
A week?
Hey man, shout out to Damien. Damien, my G, you know Damien from The Real Deal with Damian Adams, who writes for the 3-Point Conversion, cover the Phoenix Mercury and all, cover boxing for the 3-Point Conversion. He was talking about, so now it's weird because with Washington, you're gonna be like, hey man, he said, hey man, who your favorite team? The football team.
Football team.
He said, no, but who? The football team.
Come on, man. You know what I'm talking about. The football team, man.
That's crazy, bro. I'd
rather say that than the
2020 been crazy,
man,
bro.
Look here, man.
All right, man.
Hey, we ain't counting this year. My birthday, I ain't turning what I'm turning this year because I didn't get to do anything with this year, so this is not.
This ain't count, right?
Don't count.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with What If. Don't want to miss it. Keep it locked.
Have a sports injury? Need to see an orthopedic doctor? Ortho Atlanta is one of Metro Atlanta's largest orthopedic and sports medicine practices, providing orthopedic and sports medicine care for the whole family. With 37 physicians and 14 offices, the practice provides the highest level of care for injury of muscles, joints, bones, and spine. Ortho Atlanta offers convenient access to a full range of musculoskeletal surgeons and specialists. Ortho Atlanta also offers on-site physical therapy, pain management care, MRI imaging, and workers' compensation care. The Ortho Atlanta Surgery Centers in Austell and Fayetteville provide cost-effective, same-day surgical procedures in an accredited outpatient center. Hip, knee, shoulder, back pain? Ortho Atlanta has you covered with specialists in all areas. Same-day appointments, orthopedic care for the whole family. Ortho Atlanta, Atlanta's choice for orthopedic and sports medicine care. Learn more at www.orthoatlanta.com.
Happy Saturday, sports fans. It's your boy Sherm, a.k.a. the Lord of the Beats, and you are currently inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge with my man's Mr. Controversy, D Intellectual, and of course my dog G behind the boards. Cheers to the freaking weekend.
All right, we are back. And it's time for What If? This is where we get to ask, we'll pick out an athlete or a coach, anybody, anything to do with sports. Sit down from any era, sit down and ask them 5 questions that we would want to come up with off the record, so we can ask them anything. What was you gonna say?
It's funny, man. Like this segment, I'm not gonna say everybody, but most people think would be like an easy segment. Hey man, if this is not one of the hardest segments to come up with every week. Not only picking who you gonna talk to, but then the 5 questions. Because usually, as what we do, you have a person, you do your research, whatever the case may be. Like sitting there picking a person and 5 questions.
The crazy part is all these athletes and about millions of athletes, and we can't
come up with what?
Who you coming up with? I don't know.
I'm still thinking.
The other week, I picked one that G did already. Like I'm like, man, But go ahead, D. Who you have, man?
This week I'm going with primetime Deion Sanders.
Okay.
So one of the first questions I would ask him is, in his opinion, who's a better QB, Steve Young or Troy Aikman? I would like to know his opinion on that, and I'm sure he's at this age he's at now, he's a more diplomatic. So
I gotta. Can I get a stop it for that? Deion better. Troy Aikman, that boy. So okay,
overrated.
Stop it. Go ahead.
I would ask him, in his opinion, which of the organizations treated him the best, and which was the best that he played for. Cowboys, 49ers, Falcons, Ravens. Mm-hmm. I would also ask him, who was the toughest wide receiver he ever had to defend. And I would ask him, which Super Bowl means the most to him? The one in Dallas or the one in San Fran?
I think it's the one in Dallas, because I know he said the one in San Fran, he didn't feel like anything. Yeah.
Because they was already. I remember that defense though, Merton Hanks.
Yeah, right. That crazy neck, right.
And then I would ask him, how was his relationship with Andre Rison now? I know that was a long time ago when they had that, you know what I mean? But like some people hold on to stuff and, you know what I mean, don't let things go. So I would ask him, how's that?
All right. So the person I picked, I went different this time. I went with a coach. I picked Tony Dungy. So here it is with Tony Dungy. You know, this is the guy that won the Super Bowl in Indy. He started out with Tampa as the coach, head coach, I'm saying, and got them to where they need to be and never won. So with Tony, I would ask him, after your playing career, you were the defensive coach for the Steelers. But Dan Rooney forced Chuck Noll to demote you to defensive back coach. So he was defensive coordinator from like 88, then 92, I think. He 84 to 88. Well, I think it was 80. Either or, he demoted him to defensive back coach. He forced Chuck Noll to do that. So Tony Dungy left. He was like, I'm not doing that. So Tony Dungy left. Instead, he took the same job at Kansas City that he was demoted to. So what was more, I mean, was it more of you felt betrayed? Is that why you left? Like, why didn't you stay there even though you took the same job you was demoted to with another organization? I guess maybe because of the fact
being
that...
demoted.
Huh?
Being demoted.
Yeah, I guess the fact that you played with Pittsburgh too. So, I don't know. My next question. In 1999, the NFC Championship game, you all were driving down the field. You just held the Rams. The score was 9-3. And, no, I'm sorry, 6-3. And then, that was crazy. The St. Louis Rams of 99, 6-3. Into the fourth quarter with 2 minutes left, a little bit over 2 minutes left, they scored a touchdown. But you all were driving under 2 minutes. It was 2nd and 23. You are at, I think, the 35-yard line of St. Louis Rams. And Sean King threw a dart to Bert Emanuel, which he caught, but the tip of the ball hit the turf. It looked like a catch. They ruled it a catch. You all, Tampa Bay, you called a timeout. And then next thing you knew it was like a little delay during the timeout. Then ref come out of nowhere and say, after review, which y'all didn't know he was reviewing, after review, it has been changed to an incomplete pass. John Madden, Pat Summer, everybody thought he caught the ball. Nobody, even the Rams didn't even challenge it or anything, but they went and reviewed it and changed the play. After that, the offseason, the referees decided, you know what, we're going to make this, we're going to call it the Bert Emanuel play, or Bert Emanuel rule, and from now on, it's a catch. Which could have cost y'all going to the Super Bowl. Because of that, have you gotten over that? And did you feel like you would have won the Super Bowl, even though y'all was playing Tennessee, but y'all could have beaten Tennessee if you would have got that catch and y'all had the momentum? Still think that's bogus how that happened. We all know that the 2002 Super Bowl team was constructed by you, but of course you got fired because of the playoff losses, and it was saying you were too conservative. They won Super Bowl, of course. But do you regret not focusing more on the offense? We know it was all defense, and the defense was the best in the league at that time. But do you regret not even, because the offense is boo-boo?
Wasn't much better the year they won.
The schemes was better. I mean, the players, but I'm just saying, like,
I know, I get what you're
just
saying.
like how Lovey did with the Bears.
Yeah.
Then in 2006, Devin Hester ran the opening kickoff back, and then the ensuing drive, Peyton Manning threw an interception with the Bears capitalizing, and the score was 10-0 in the first quarter. Going against that defense, and we know it was a great defense, did it ever cross your mind that y'all was about to lose, or did it change when you saw Rex Grossman across the sideline?
I'm sure that's what it was. After seeing him, he was like, just do what we gonna do. Let's just do what we gonna do.
Because I thought it was a wrap.
Yeah, me too.
And then last question. After that Super Bowl that featured 2 black coaches, there was a small influx of black coaches that got hired. But did you think that more coaches would have gotten hired, especially after Mike Tomlin won the Super Bowl 2 years later? Those are my questions. Like, I don't understand how he won. It was 2 black coaches, 2006, and then Mike Tomlin won in 2008, the youngest coach ever. Now, what it did was they started hiring younger coaches, but
none of them black.
Yeah.
They started getting rid of black coaches.
Yeah, it's crazy. All right, G.
All right, the person I chose for this week is Dan Marino. And I tried to find questions that no one's really asked him, or at least I don't know of. And as quarterback, I always feel like quarterbacks don't have much of a personality on camera. So it's good that this is off the record.
Right.
You're clearly the best quarterback in the history of Pitt football, but why hasn't there been at least another decent quarterback to come out of Pitt? And looking at the history of their starting quarterbacks, the only names I really recognize are, unfortunately, Tom Savage and Nathan Peterman.
That name.
Your favorite quarterback.
In what world is he my favorite? Anyway. So
you had a cake with his name on it. Go ahead.
That wasn't my idea. So, you would, a lot of colleges have, a position that they focus on and that they have a lot of history with, but it's like, he's like the lone great quarterback at the university. So what does he think about that? How slighted did he feel in 1983 in the draft where he's picked at, towards the end of the first round and he's the 6th of 6 quarterbacks taken? Did he feel immediately like, I'm better than all these guys? And that would lead to my next question. Do you think he was better than Elway?
You talking about coming out the draft?
No, did he think he's better than Elway overall? I know Elway got the Super Bowls and all the appearances and all the comebacks, and Marino has all the records. This is a legit debate. Is Marino better? Was he a better player
better than Elway?
Yeah, I think
Elway. Elway had the accomplishments.
But everybody kind of
go. A lot of people go with Elway because of the rings.
They
go rings first.
I wouldn't think so.
A lot of people do.
A lot of people go rings first.
But even if they want to go there, how late in Elway's career did he get those rings?
I thought Elway
was the team he had, and you know what I mean. Like when he won his rings, he wasn't even the Elway that he was.
I still think Elway underrated too.
No, I agree.
So
he's a tough.
Yeah,
I never forget that touchdown he get where he was running about a half a mile an hour and diving, got hit.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, I would ask if he's better than Elway. I think he probably thinks he is. Does he think he was asked to do too much in Miami? Because one of the great travesties of his career, they never really got a running back that they could depend on to give them some balance. Because in the 80s and 90s, it was more about having a balanced offense. If you could run the ball, you had a great chance. I mean, you could run the ball and not have a great quarterback, but it's like if you had a great quarterback, he could only get you so far. So it's like they didn't really get him the running back that he needed to kind of balance the team out. And the last thing I would ask him is, what was his toughest playoff loss? Outside of the Super Bowl, would it have been when they lost to the Patriots in the 85 AFC Championship, and they had actually been the only team to beat the Bears that year. Mm-hmm. So not getting that rematch, which I don't know how it would have turned out. The Bears might have won that game if they played the Dolphins again, but we'll never know because we never got to see it. Or when they lost to the Bills in the AFC Championship, I believe it was 93, and they were at home, and the Bills didn't seem like they were that good, but they ended up going to the Super Bowl for the 3rd straight year. So I'll ask him what his toughest playoff loss is, and that's it.
All right, there it is. What if? Again, you all need to let us know. Put in your comments now. Give us some players that you would want to ask or want us to ask. I mean, we'll look into it. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.
What's happening? It's your man Big T doing big things. Y'all know what it is. ATL Hawks official DJ and Rap City forever. You're checking out the 3 Point Conversion Radio. You dig?
WWE. AM 1100.
The opinions expressed during the sponsored programs on this station are strictly those of the program hosts, guests, and callers and are not necessarily those of Beasley Broadcast Group, this station, its staff, other advertisers, or agencies.
Big ups to our Sports Lounge crew for keeping the airways blazing each and every Saturday. But I want to send another special shout out to our team of writers at the 3 Point Conversion. You can visit us at the3pointconversion.com. You can also like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. How about the Gram? How about iHeart? How about Spreaker Radio? How about wherever you need it, baby? We got you covered. No mercy. Don't let up on him. Go hard on him, Mr. Controversy. Hit him with the stop it button.
All right, we are back inside the 3 Point Conversion Sports Lounge. I'd like to thank everyone who has supported the 3 Point Conversion Sports Lounge. We appreciate you, and we also ask you to continue to support us, but not only the 3 Point Conversion Sports Lounge, but the 3 Point Conversion Media Sports Company in itself. Also want to give a special shout out to a valued client getting their hair cut right now. Thanks for listening to the show, Travis Jones. We appreciate you, man. What's good, TJ? I see you, but you don't see me. I know you probably like, what's going on? Because he definitely ain't at an actual barbershop. What up, TJ? We see you, dog. All right. It is now time for the most infamous, the most famous Stop It segment. Let's get it.
Stop, 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 stop. Stop it! Stop it, stop it.
Yes, S-T-O-P, new word, I-T. Stop it!
Stop it. Get some help.
All right, D, it's on you, man.
Yeah. So I got two today, and they both are going to the NBA. One is, G kind of touched on it. So you can go out there, you can play basketball, you can dunk on people, you can foul, but when you get to the bench, make sure you social distance from everybody else.
Stop it.
Like, you can box out, you can do all that, but you can't sit next to your teammate. And you can't go to his room, you can't eat with him, you can't do nothing with him.
Stop it.
The second one is, again, to the NBA. It's been a lot with Dwight Howard about not having on his mask.
Stop it.
Things like that. But they in a bubble, right? Like, I'm for the mask outside, right? Like, I'm with that. But, like, that's the whole point of this bubble, right? Like, to make sure everybody doesn't have it and they're being safe. So, like, him not having on a mask, I don't get that part.
Right. Stop it.
I just don't get it. Like, they getting tested every day. They doing this. They can't do that. They can't, and he still got to wear it. Everybody he with they already. I don't know, man.
Yeah, that don't make sense, bro. That's like, yeah. Like I said, I didn't get it from the beginning, so I'm just like, okay. My stop it goes to, now hear me out. So it goes to what's the big guy named Fluker? Is it
Fluker?
What's his first name? David.
Hold on, let me show you.
But DJ Fluker, yeah. But it's DJ, right? So anyway, it goes to DJ Fluker. Hear me out. So DJ Fluker called the police, and he's a victim of domestic abuse from his lady. He called the police. She punched him. That's what allegedly punched him. She said she poked him in the nose. DJ 6'7", about 350. I get it right now. You want to be safe. You ain't trusting. I get that part. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, you ain't about to get me. I get that. But then he told the police, coppers, he told them afterwards, and that this isn't the first time she assaulted me, and it's been many times, but I just didn't report it.
Stop it.
All right, bro. I get the first time you was just being like petty, like, look, I ain't going to jail, but now you admitting that she's done it in the past, and bruh.
What are you getting to stop it for? That's what I'm
Dude, you 6'7". I'm saying you shouldn't. Listen what I'm saying. The way he's saying, I've been abused multiple times. Just leave, dog. Just leave. Just go out. I can understand the first time. You don't want to. I get it. So basically, you letting her continue to hitch on you. Just leave, dog. That's all I'm saying. Just leave. You shouldn't be 6'7".
That don't have nothing to do with it. That don't have nothing to do with it.
It don't, but we know if you 6'7", and you, it's like getting beat up by a bully.
That's why men don't come out and say they getting beat.
That's
why men don't come out and say they getting beat.
That's
leave. Why. But you know how now this is
leave.
Women go through the same thing. And they don't leave.
And what do we say? But what do we say?
We say leave. But they don't.
All I'm saying is
that's easier.
Leave. So if you was the cop and he told you, you like, all right, like, yo, I feel you, fam. You thinking that. Then he says, and she beats me multiple times. It's been plenty of times she's beaten me before. You're not gonna feel something.
I'm gonna arrest her.
No, you gonna arrest her, but inside you're not gonna be like,
nope.
Like, bro, why don't you just leave?
That's kind of sexist. Yep, it is.
So is it sexist when we tell the women to leave?
No.
Okay then.
Wait. You said what?
So when we tell the women, like, if they keep getting, why don't you leave? Tell the cops, but why don't you leave? We've said as many times on the show.
Women get told that
like all the time.
So why can't we tell them? That's what I'm saying. So why can't we tell a man that? Why is it wrong to tell a man that?
It's apparently if it's not that simple for women to just leave.
That's what
it's
I'm
probably
saying.
not that simple for a man to just leave.
I don't know. Dog.
I know he's 6'7". I know he's a big dude, but it's probably not that simple.
I think we playing political on the radio. That's all. I'm not playing political on the radio.
What I'm saying is you can't say that to him.
You can't say leave.
No, what you trying to say?
You can say to leave, but it doesn't mean much.
Right, and what's the first thing he said? He's 6'7".
He's 6'7", said I'm getting beat up.
Right. Because if he do this to her, which is tapping her on her shoulder like this, and she called
I'm talking
about if he stops her from putting hands on her.
Right. I'm not saying fight. That's why I'm
not
leave.
saying fighting. I'm saying if he attempts to stop her from doing anything.
So that's why I say leave.
You can't tell her.
It's not that simple.
You can't tell an abuse victim to just leave.
So
it's not that simple.
Yep. So hold on. We gonna keep it real. We
keep talking about this.
Shame the devil and tell the truth. You both said on this show when we talking about this incident, they need to leave. We're talking about women. So why are you saying we can't say that to him?
No, I'm saying
I'm
it's
not saying you can't say that to him.
I'm saying
it's not that simple.
Oh, I get that.
I probably wouldn't even tell the woman to just leave. Like I've been around,
women get told that, but it's not like.
No, I understand it's not that simple, but I still would be like, bruh, just leave. Just like we've been on this show and told.
It's got to be more than that.
Me as a cop coming there, I wouldn't say nothing. I would separate this, take her to jail, and because I can't have no opinion on that.
No, I get it, but that's why I said inside though.
Yeah, you can't.
You'll be feeling.
No, because hey, this apparently you like it. That's what I mean. It's a story. I got a story years ago, right, where this a neighbor was getting beat up by her boyfriend. Right. Now we stopped it.
Yeah.
We didn't fight him, and we made sure we stopped it. The next time, same thing happened. This time we didn't stop because guess what? We're not about to get into it with him and have a whole argument, be fighting with him, shooting with him, and you still win.
I feel that.
You know what I mean? Like you gotta you know what I'm saying? Like, hey.
Yeah, I guess he love it because it's like when I heard first, I'm like, yeah, man, like call the, you know what I'm saying? I was with him. Then when I saw the other parties, like telling the yeah, I've been a multiple.
He's an abuse victim. He might need counseling.
So let me ask you this. So now, since that's out, when it comes to these NFL games, you don't think he gonna get it?
Oh, he gonna get an earful. He gonna get a nose full. If she poke him in the nose, he gonna get a nose full.
Oh man!
But it's bad because the thing about it is probably a lot of them in the NFL that's going through it.
But that's why I say he was smart. Like I said, I'm not mad that he caught. He's smart on that.
Because even if he stopped her from hitting him, he gonna go to jail.
I wonder why so now I'm wondering why he just not calling in.
He might got tired of it. He probably got bopped upside the head so many times.
But she did get arrested. But the fact that she was like, man, I just poked him in the nose. I ain't mean to hit him. I don't know, man. Like I said, he still get a stop for me.
And not for nothing. And it's not saying he's, offensive linemen are kind of, a lot of them are big teddy bear. You know what I mean? And that's not to say that he deserves that. You know what I'm saying? But they aren't. So, and it's not for nothing that the defensive linemen tend to be more aggressive than offensive linemen. Unless you have that offensive lineman. Like,
Rick just told me a story about Albert Hainsworth and that his lady was beating him.
See?
So it might not matter what position they play.
Other than that, Notre Dame offensive lineman that came out for Indianapolis, like he's real hard, right? Like push. A lot of offensive linemen are real chill, you know what I'm saying? But like you said, it don't have to be just offensive linemen, it's defensive. And Albert Hainsworth step on people's head.
Yeah, but that was he threw a tantrum. Like I hate to say this, but I ain't gonna say that. If you watch his mannerisms,
you see a look.
Yeah, go ahead. I mean, not manners, but the way he act and talk and all that stuff he says. Go ahead, G.
Still is.
I had one, but I'm just gonna give one to Mr. Controversy for double standard.
Yeah, there you go.
Y'all double standard. Y'all told her y'all said this on the show to him, and she needs to leave. But now,
I said.
So how am I wrong?
That women are told that,
okay,
but it's not.
No,
that
you
simple.
said they just both of y'all was like.
I didn't say that. Like that's just what women should do.
No,
as advice.
You
I'm just saying that women get told
they should leave. You said it. We all agree.
That don't work.
It don't work.
The
But
point
so
is
why do I get
work.
to stop it when I say he needs to? I just say he needs to leave. Same thing we said about the other one. Same thing we said about your man's.
We're going to keep talking about this after the show.
Yeah, we're going to have to. We're going to listen to the show, too, because double standard? Go ahead,
yes.
man. We about to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Break down to y'all what's so dope about the 3-point conversion. First of all, everybody is a fan of the game first. Second of all, everybody is a student of the game second. And third of all, we're the average sports fan just like everybody else. We're not coming in here walking with our nose tipped high, acting snooty, acting brand new. This is a grassroots organization. Bar none. The 3-point conversion, where fans' opinions matter. Be sure to visit the website www.the3pointconversion.com. Get your fix, get your articles, multimedia, and everything else that you, as a sports fan, need. So again, the3pointconversion.com. It's where it's at, man, where fans' opinions matter.
Hey, this is Gary Payton. Y'all listen to 3-Point Conversion Radio. It's the bomb.
All right, we are back inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. All right. We already talked about the NBA. NBA's, is back. Man, so a handful of games so far. Who stood out to you, D?
The Lakers. Who or what team?
Who?
LeBron James and Giannis? I didn't see the Clippers, so I can't say much about Kawhi. But LeBron James, man. And maybe because it was a scrimmage and it seems like nobody wanted to step in front of him or foul him because they was kind of doing the same thing with Luka. I'm hoping that's what it was. If not, I'm going to be highly disappointed with the defense and how they were playing. But LeBron was just going to the hole and just doing whatever he felt like. Luka was doing pretty much the same thing. There was no defensive rotation. They weren't playing physical. So I don't know if that had something to do with the fans or because it was a scrimmage. I'm hoping because it was a scrimmage. But them two look phenomenal.
I say LeBron looks scary, but I say Giannis. But Bo, man, he looked good. And then Nurkic. I thought Nurkic had a little touch. Like, you could tell, like, watching them, like, man, this is what they needed, that inside play. Like, Whiteside, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Whiteside is not the type where he gets the ball. He can score, but it's not necessarily to the point where things are moving smoothly. Like, he's usually getting off tips or, rebounds and putbacks, whereas now you can actually run a play through Nurkic where not only can he score, but he can pass the ball or, so on. So I thought it was Nurkic. Lou Williams still looked like a beast. They couldn't, he couldn't.
I don't think
stopped.
it's nothing you can do.
Yeah, like
Lou Williams can.
Right.
And not to be, he been in the league, 15 years old?
Right.
I like Nurkic, but I feel like people are making him out to be, and I like him, but they making him out to be this big game changer that will put Portland over the hump.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's that. I think he's a good player, but I don't think he takes them from ninth
right
to even fifth. Because based on that, they're not even going to the playoffs.
Who? The
Blazers. It's 8 games, right?
So you saying you don't think Nurkic is what?
It takes them from ninth to even fourth or third or fifth. I think he makes them better, but he does what does he accomplish? He's averaged 14 and 8 1 year.
That's still big with a team that can't score. Besides, you know what I'm saying? And not just that, they can run the offense through him. That's what they miss. They don't have that with Whiteside.
I think he look okay. I don't think they run the offense through him like they do.
No, they don't. They don't have to. No, I'm saying, but they could still. A set play could be called for him, and now I could post up and score like he was, or I could pass the ball. Like, he's pretty skilled. I mean, he's not like Joker or nothing like that, but just for the simple fact that you can't do that with Whiteside. Whiteside, but now everything's feel normal now with the team. I played with him 3 years. You know what I'm saying?
You say that you played with him 3 years.
Yeah.
And what happened those 3 years that they played with him? They
got to the playoffs. They got to play. Then they got to the Western Conference Finals. So they was Western Conference Finals the year before. They've gotten better each time. So they were missing him when he was out. Now you playing with Whiteside. You got to learn who he is. Dame out. I just think now it feels normal. You know what I'm saying? Now the key is what's going to happen when Whiteside comes back and how they're going to play together. But yeah, even with the guy y'all was trying to get me on, Turner, when he came back, I mean, everything felt normal. Like, rotations was normal now. And I think that's the biggest thing. I think that's what helped throughout this pandemic. You know what I'm saying? G, anybody in particular?
I didn't watch many of the games. I think that, some of the things we saw we're probably not going to see too much of. Like, Seth Curry had 23 points in 5 seconds. He didn't miss any shots.
Oh, yeah. Seth was balling. Yeah.
Bol was he was pretty good for us to finally get to see him out there. I don't know if he's going to be in the rotation long term because you saw the lineup that Denver put out there. Everybody's at least 6'8".
You're not going to see them starting that lineup. You may see the lineup, but they're not going to start.
But do you think I think he might earn some minutes? Just only reason why I say that, I don't know, because first of all,
they already so deep. They're who you going to put on the bench?
But you kind of saw the problem that he can, with him being his length.
But you see how he was
athletic.
You see how he was grabbing the ball and going. He's not doing that with Jamal Murray out there.
No.
With Gary Harris and you had to think about Michael Porter Jr. So now you're gonna put Bo in front of Michael Porter Jr. and this person
They deep. I don't know if he's gonna play 25 minutes a game, but they have bodies that can play.
Yeah.
Yeah, Denver's gonna have a lot of options and probably look at how their future is going to look as far as they got, if Porter Jr. is healthy, and then if Bol continues from where he is at this point, just for them to start him in this. I know it's just a scrimmage, but for them to get him out there, have him on the roster, they are definitely developing him long term. But as far as this situation with the bubble, I don't know how much of an impact he's actually going to have, but it was nice to see him out there.
If he continue playing like that, he's going to get drug tested every game. Like he got drug tested right after the game.
But he looked good. Like he like, I mean,
I don't know what drugs he might actually. If he gets bigger,
then drug test him. He still look like
right now he's
a
thin man.
You call him a thin man.
So
slender man.
So now, what team do you think can make this improbable run? We talked about on the eastern side. Like, what team from like 6 through 8 do you see, or whoever the teams outside make playoffs, who can make that run for the Western Conference? Who do you think?
An improbable run, I'm gonna say Oklahoma City. I think,
really?
Yeah, I think by them having such a smart player in Chris Paul, and then also having young fearless players like Shea, Gigi. By having him and the way that he plays, and they say he's gotten so much better since the pandemic because of him studying, and it seems like the game has slowed down for him. And then something I think would be huge for them, it has nothing to do with offense, but Robertson is back. Remember, he hadn't played in 2 seasons because he tore kneecap, like his leg was almost off. Right. So him being able to play, even if you go to a small lineup, but he plays the 4. You know what I mean? That could cause some defensive. It's not going to do nothing for the offense. But
the only problem I see with that is, I know Shea been balling. Shooter can get his point, but I still don't see. Shooter might be the only one. I still don't see that person that can dominate a game when they need it. Could get points if a lot of people, everybody's going.
Chris Paul.
If he's got to score and distribute, that's what he does. But I don't think that's going to be enough for that team.
Right.
So someone has to take over. You would think it would be Gallinari, but we've seen that movie for about 12 years now. So
when they need it, he won't show up. The biggest thing for them that I ain't gonna say the biggest thing, but coaching.
Right.
Like, I like Billy Donovan as a college coach, but
so I'm gonna throw another team out. G? Do you have a team
in the West? I would want to. I guess just for fun, I would want to see New Orleans make some kind of run, just because I think they can just go out there and play. There's like really no real pressure on them compared to some of the other teams.
I can agree with that because, Zion now, he's back. He got to do a 4-day quarantine, but he'll be back. Right now, first of all, no fans, no really pressure. So you playing. This is almost like it's a feel like, we playing at the Y. I mean, you still got to play professionally because you're playing against professionals and great players, but they were on a roll, man. I know they won 10-9, but when I mean on the roll, they were starting to play good basketball. Like Favors is back. Favors, did he come? He should be. He's healthy now. Of course, Zion is there. Everybody's healthy. Ball is healthy. Hopefully, he doesn't get hurt. They look good because they got scoring, they got rebounding. I don't know if Favors plays defense, but I don't know if defensively they're any good like that.
The key thing for New Orleans will actually be can Ingram get back to where he was at the beginning of the season?
If he does,
because once Zion came up to the scene, we forgot about him.
But he was still balling though, right? He was still balling. He was still getting his 20-something a game.
They were 5-5 in their last 10, and I think it's because of the Ingram and Zion how it had started.
Yeah,
doing that. You know what I mean?
So if some things have been figured out, then they're kind of on the level of Denver, having a lot of options of what they can do.
Right.
I want to see them next year, like with an off season, to be able to play with each other and figure it out, and figure out who's quote unquote the man. And what I think about it is, I want to see Brandon Ingram do it again or half a season or something, and then he could be the quote unquote man, and Zion just be what Zion is, right? Like, he doesn't have to be last shot maker type player.
Well, I don't, and that's the thing. I don't even think he was when he came back. I think because remember he was on a minute restriction when he first came back, but I think they started to figure it out.
They were feeding him, like, in the way that they were feeding him, it took Ingram, because I watched a lot of it took Ingram kind of out of the game because he was used to getting the ball, setting it up, doing, you know what I'm saying? It looked like what happened was Zoe was always looking for Zion, which made it great. It was good basketball,
right?
But it kind of took Ingram out of his groove he was in.
They had an off season. So
they couldn't play together.
Right. I still think, like I said, I think Portland gonna win it. I think Portland gonna get the 8th spot. I just can't see.
What do Portland have to go?
I don't see Memphis like.
But so it's 8 games and Portland's 3.5 out.
Yeah, I don't think Memphis gonna hold a spot.
So Memphis probably has to go 5-3 or 4-4.
Yeah, if they,
and at that point, Portland will have to go almost 7-1, right?
They probably have to go
8-0. Yeah, I don't think it's
because if Memphis wins 4 games,
I don't think Memphis is gonna win 2 games because they're not that good. Memphis. They were on a hot streak.
They 500, almost 500 in the West.
I don't think they're that good. If you look at them right now, they've been playing basketball. Like I said,
but this is another. They're kind of in the similar to with New Orleans as far as it's a young team in this situation. There's no real pressure on them.
But it's real. But wait,
Jaren Jackson was hurt. They last 6 games. Last 7 or 8 games.
Let's be real. It's no. They're not talented like New Orleans. And this is what I'm saying. It was good coaching. Ja was playing well, but they were playing well as a team. But that momentum has stopped. And that's what I'm saying. I don't really think, because I never thought they were that good anyway. I didn't think they were good enough to beat the Big Ten. They start going through they start losing before the season started.
They weren't losing like that. That's what I'm saying. The last 10, they 4-6. Overall, they 1 game under 500.
Because you know how they 4-6? Because they start playing the good teams. And when they start playing the good teams, they start losing.
Weren't. They weren't playing bad. They had the hardest strength of schedule going down the road. That's why I was like, I don't think that they're going to hold it. But then they start.
But at the end, they start losing to those teams. That's why they're 4-6. So my point is.
That's 1 game. That's like 1 game under 500.
What I'm saying is, though, now after the break, I don't think that momentum carries. I don't think that they're good. I don't think that they're talented enough. In this type of season right now, you got to start it, and I don't know if they're talented. That's why I don't think they'll get it. I think if they played, even if they caught the 8th spot, I think they get swept in the first round.
Whoever get the 8th spot getting swept in the first round.
I don't think I think Portland too talented. Portland is talented. That's why I think, and they're experienced. This was a Western Conference team in the finals, in the conference finals last year, and we know what happened with all the injuries that happened. You know what I'm saying? This year, with Dame being out multiple games, if everybody comes back healthy with the additions that they have, I think they're scary.
I don't trust Portland. They've shown me consistently what happened.
They went to the Western Conference Finals.
And they continue to lose.
In the Western, so you don't trust them for going to what? They've gotten better each year. How you don't trust them? They're young. They were young team.
They're young.
They're a young team.
They're young.
Who's young?
Portland.
Man, come on, man. Come on, dude.
How old is Dame? What, 25, 26?
Man, Dame almost 30.
He is at least 30.
I forgot he played 5 years at Weber State.
He played 8 years.
Then he played at Weber State for 5 years. I forgot. My bad. I'm used to these players coming out of college when they. My bad. I forgot.
Do you know who Memphis plays?
No, say
they got a nice look. Well, everybody gonna kind of play somebody
Yeah,
hard
you
in
play
reality.
Because they right.
It's
you act like everybody play the Hawks.
So first off, if they beat Portland, that's already gonna make it a thing. They play Portland, San Antonio, New Orleans. So if they beat Portland and New Orleans, they can almost lose the rest of their games and go in.
Right. But still, I think now that they have I like Whiteside, but
Milwaukee really don't have nothing to play for.
I think they have a legitimate big man. I think Portland, because they have a legitimate big man now, that I think it makes them, because there's not that many big men in the in the NBA right now.
The last 3 games are Toronto, Boston, and Milwaukee. All 3 of those teams don't have nothing to play for. They probably not even going to play most of their starters more than 20 minutes.
Oh,
and just those 3 games.
Well, you probably want to play because you got to get in shape.
I think they're going to probably do them the first 5 or 6 games. But when it starts getting towards those last 2 or 3 games, it's going to be like they doing it in during the regular season. They start pulling them out. Boston literally probably can't move up. Milwaukee they ain't going nowhere. And Toronto is stuck in the 2nd seed. That alone is 3 games that easily could if they go 3-5.
Well, Boston's only 2.5 games over Miami, and they're 3 games behind Toronto.
I'm talking about by time that they get to.
They still could be, but they can be fighting for their position. So it's still like you're saying, they playing everybody. They playing for position. So you don't. I don't know. So you think Memphis get the 8th spot? We're about to go. You think?
I do. I think they.
I don't think they get it. I think it's who you think. You think they get it?
I think they can hold on, and it probably won't take as much as people think.
I think it's either New Orleans or I think Portland, but New Orleans could get it as well. I just don't. I think Memphis is gonna fall down. I don't think they're that good. But all right, we're gonna take a quick break, and we will be back with start, bench, cut. I'm about to say start, stop, start, bench, and cut. We'll be right back.
Have a sports injury? Need to see an orthopedic doctor? Ortho Atlanta is one of Metro Atlanta's largest orthopedic and sports medicine practices, providing orthopedic and sports medicine care for the whole family. With 37 physicians and 14 offices, the practice provides the highest level of care for injury of muscles, joints, bones, and spine. Ortho Atlanta offers convenient access to a full range of musculoskeletal surgeons and specialists. Ortho Atlanta also offers on-site physical therapy, pain management care, MRI imaging, and workers' compensation care. The Ortho Atlanta surgery centers in Austell and Fayetteville provide cost-effective, same-day surgical procedures in an accredited outpatient center. Hip, knee, shoulder, back pain? Ortho Atlanta has you covered with specialists in all areas. Same-day appointments, orthopedic care for the whole family. Ortho Atlanta, Atlanta's choice for orthopedic and sports medicine care. Learn more at www.orthoatlanta.com.
What's up? This is Anthony Hamilton, and you're listening to the 3-Point Conversion.
Portland, you're not getting it. All right, we are back inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. Yo, I got to say this. We had Battlegrounds last week. We did it live. I hope Ray is listening. We did it live. It was a great battle, one of the best battles in a while. We couldn't do a call today because of how everything went. But I want you all to know the winner is Danny Thompson, who beat Ray. Danny is not the Buffalo Bills of Battlegrounds. He finally won. He got it. He beat Ray. Congrats.
John Elway.
He's John Elway. Came back at the end. Probably the best answer, maybe a Battleground history. Right up there, might beat the one when Ray talked about Mayweather, but the best answer was the Simone Biles. That answer was sick. Everybody keeps saying that answer was sick. Even people who voted for Ray was like, he definitely won that part. So congrats, Danny. Congrats, bruh. Next week we'll mail you that loot. And hey, man. Have to come up with a 5-minute spot for you next week so you can talk your junk, talk your mess. I know you want to. Should go on Facebook and do it. But anyway, all right. So first I want to say what's going on to Dr. Fowler. What's up, Dr. Fowler?
What up? What up? I'm driving in the middle of nowhere, so if you lose me, my apologies.
All right. So it's not that you're just trying to walk away from a hard question?
Nah.
Okay.
Nah, never.
All right, so we're gonna make this quick. So, all right, G, you can. I don't know if you playing music, or whatever, but all right. So now we're doing centers, right? NBA centers. Okay, so the first one is NBA centers. We got Yao Ming, Pau Gasol, or Joel Embiid. See, I'm going with the foreign players. I'm going to go again. Yao Ming, Pau Gasol, or Joel Embiid. Go ahead, Dr. Fowler.
Ooh, well, I'll just start by cutting Joel Embiid because you never know if he's going to play, what his new injury is going to be. Not that Yao Ming wasn't having problems with his feet and everything else, but for all those reasons, even though we're talking about their feet, I'm going to start Paul Gasol. I think again, I know it's about the peak, but I think he just did it consistently for a long time. He was always out there, even if you want to talk like international. Like, he had that Spain team pretty close to beating Team USA in the Olympics. So, and that's a feat in its own. So I'm going to start Paul Gasol. I'm bringing Yao Ming off the bench. You wish he could have done it for longer. And then I'm cutting Embiid.
Again.
All right. D, go ahead.
I think I'm going to start Paul Gasol. Again, I know, like Dr. Fowler said, we not talking about longevity, but they prime.
Right.
But I'm going to start Paul. I mean, he won 2 chips. He was a vital part of it. So it's going to be personal, and I'm going to tell y'all why later. I'm going to bench Embiid. I think overall he's faster defensively and things like that. I'm gonna cut Yao. I didn't really like Yao too much. I think he was kind of overrated. I mean, I really didn't like the year that they started him over Shaq in the All-Star game, so that kind of messed with me a little bit. And his career was 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it's injuries and things like that, but that kind of played a big thing for me. And hopefully that doesn't happen to Embiid. He's been battling injuries himself.
All right, G.
I'm gonna start Pau Gasol. He was the most consistent of the 3. I'm going to bench Yao, even though his career was cut short by injuries. But I think I don't think he'll be distracted by Shirley Temples like Joel Embiid is. That's why I'm cutting him.
Boy, y'all personal. I got I'm starting Yao Ming. Y'all bugging. Yao Ming. I mean, even Shaq, when Shaq say there was nothing he could do with Yao Ming, and I mean, I hate that we saw his career end, prematurely, but Yao Ming, man, he could do it all. He was big and he had a touch. He could post you up, play defense, like bugging. This is a hard one for me. I'm going to go with Joel Embiid. I'm going to bench Joel Embiid. I just think we talk about he don't do too much or whatever, but when you look at what he's done, he's done everything that he's probably averaged more than what Pau Gasol averaged or did. So Pau has been soft. We know that. You know what I'm saying? So are you taking soft or distracted? So I'm going with Joel Embiid. I mean, his game is crazy. He's still got room for his game, but just looking what he does, it's nothing that he can't do. You know what I'm saying? Of course, some of y'all question, will he do it? But there's nothing that he can't do. And then Powell, respectfully, I'm cutting him. I don't want to, The guy that grabs rebounds and hold it up like you're supposed to and push it back up, don't bring it down, textbook. But I got to cut Powell.
I'm taking winning.
All right. Shoot, he didn't win until late on his career. He got with Kobe.
He won. He took a team that who Kobe point guard was? Smush. They didn't even sniff the playoffs. Then Paul came over and they won.
Yeah, because Smush wasn't there no more. Right. All right, so let's go ahead. Football. I'm going with Bruce Smith, Julius Peppers, or J.J. Watt? Say it again. Bruce Smith, Julius Peppers, or J.J. Watt? All right, G.
Even though Bruce Smith is the all-time leader in sacks, I'm going to start Julius Peppers. Probably the most freakish athlete I've ever seen play defensive end. And I think that he was just, even like he played like 30 years in the league, and even in year 30, he was still very effective. So I think just because of the, if we're looking at this as far as like if we had a team who we putting out there, I think Julius Peppers is more of a problem than the other two. I would bench Bruce Smith because of he'll get there. There's nothing that really like stuck out about him, but you look at his numbers and you see that he has 200 sacks. Like, that is the magic number, and I don't know if anyone's ever going to reach that. And then I would cut J.J. Watt because I can. So go ahead. Who's next?
I'll take that. Hey. All right. Dr. Fowler?
I'm actually going to go the same order. I know G only started Peppers because he went to UNC, but he was a pretty respectable basketball player there, too. A lot of people forget. But, yeah, a freakish athlete. And I think the hardest to stop, Bruce Smith, the most consistent. I'm bringing him off the bench. I'm cutting J.J. Watt. I think he's a freak as well, but kind of some of these injuries over the last few years kind of drop him down below the other two for me. So,
all right, I'm going to go Julius Peppers. This dude is, man, he did everything. That's crazy. I feel like I'm going to go to hell or something if I say this, but I got to bench J.J. Watt. What DN do y'all know that did everything that he did, that he does? Bruce stopped the run like that, but nobody is back there every single play like J.J.
You just cut Bruce Smith?
Hey, that's why I said I might feel like I'm going to go to hell.
The all-time sack leader in the history of the NFL.
But again, though.
You need to stop it.
But again, though, J.J. Watt is always in the backfield. He just don't disrupt the passing game. Not even just sacks, deflections, runs. He always get a pick six no matter what. It seemed like fumbles. Like he does. Was Bruce Smith defensive player 2 years in a row?
He would be in this league. He's not even top 20 in all-time sacks. J.J. Watt isn't.
He ain't play. He top 20 in injuries.
We got a request from the chat to give Mr. Controversy to stop it. So
stop it. I take it. But I'm just saying. Though. Like I said, I don't feel right saying. I ain't even gonna say I'm doing the other thing. So I'm just starting.
You ain't gonna say the other word.
I'm just starting Julius Peppers. I'm benching J.J. Watt. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm going the same way my other two cohorts went. I'm starting Julius Peppers. He was a freak, man. He was dunking on a UNC team that had real good players. I'm not talking about like the last 2 or 3 years UNC players. I'm talking about good NCAA Sweet 16 players. Then I'm going to go ahead and bench Bruce Smith, all-time sack leader. Like you said, G, nobody going to get to 200. So when it's crazy that he got magically straight to 200, right? At the end of his career. That's like perfect. And I got to cut J.J. Watt. He's great, and he's done a lot of things. But like Dr. Fowler said, these last 2 or 3 years, injuries has really taken a toll on him. And I don't know what it's going to do for the rest of his career because the injuries they're like core injuries, you know what I mean? And that could really affect him going forward.
We talking about prime now.
He still should be in his prime. Yeah. He only 6 or 7 years in. He 7 years in, if that?
Oh, he's like 9 years in.
9 years.
Yeah, 9 years.
Bruce Smith played till he was 106.
He did.
Julius Peppers played till he was 112.
Nah, Bruce Smith played to oldest. All right, we're going with college football. And I'll start Roy Williams, a safety now.
I was going to say coaches.
Roy Williams, Sean Taylor, or Eric Berry. I'll say that again. Whew. Roy Williams, Sean Taylor, or Eric Berry. Oh, this college now. I got to start Roy Williams. Roy Williams is like, he might be, besides Ed Reed, might be the greatest college safety ever played. Roy Williams, the stuff he was doing in college, you just didn't see a safety. Like, he really dominated the entire game. You know what I'm saying? Prince all over it. Whew. Jesus. I think I'm going to go Eric Berry, man. Ugh. Eric Berry at Tennessee, SEC. Well, he did everything. Interceptions, tackling, sacks, whatever. I'm going with, I got to go with Eric Berry, and I'm going to cut Sean Taylor. I hate to say that, but respectfully. All right.
I'm gonna start Sean Taylor. I just remember him just knocking people out and just going crazy. I mean, he played like he had a attitude with everybody. You know what I mean? And the way he used to hit was ridiculous. After that, I'm gonna go with Roy Williams. Like you said, he was a great safety in college. I'm gonna cut Eric Berry just because I don't remember it too much.
Mm-hmm. All right, Dr. Fowler.
I'm going with D. Same where I'm starting Sean Taylor. I know we're talking college, but as I guess a fan of the now Washington football team, he have R.I.P. guy hit harder than I think anybody I ever remember at safety, and I just want him out there. So I'm going to start Sean Taylor and then Roy Williams off the bench and cut in Eric Berry. So,
and G.
Even though I think Sean Taylor might have made the same kind of play, like he could have made the same kind of play, the one play that makes Roy Williams the starter for me is when they played Texas and he jumped over the line to knock the ball out of Chris Sims' hands. And I had never seen any safety do that before. And he went on to win the Thorpe Award and all that. And so I got to start him, and not because he played for Dallas either, because he was not the same player that he was in college in the pros, not at all. I would bring Sean Taylor off the bench just because he kind of continued that. He wasn't on that national championship team, but he was part of that, the swagger that the especially the DBs had at Miami and that time. And him and Ed Reed are two of the best to ever play the position there. And I would cut Eric Berry only because I don't know much about him playing at Tennessee. Well, I'm sure he was good because he's been good in the NFL, right. But I just don't it's Tennessee is in a forgettable era right now.
Some people rank him higher than Sean Taylor in college. Yeah, Eric Berry was a beast. All right, and real quick, we're gonna go with this one. College basketball: Ray Allen, Todd Day, or Jerry Stackhouse. I'm gonna say it again: Ray Allen, Todd Day, or Jerry Stackhouse. All right, D, it's on you.
I'm gonna start Jesus Shuttlesworth. He was a complete package. We know how beautiful the form is, but he was dunking on you and doing everything. Yeah, he was balling at UConn. I remember it like yesterday. I'm gonna bench Todd Day. I like Jerry Stackhouse. He's in North Carolina. I'm a North Carolina fan, but Todd Day was unstoppable. He could do it all. He had nice size. He was passing. He was doing it all. And I'm gonna cut Jerry Stackhouse again. Not anything towards him, but those other two were just phenomenal in college, in my opinion. But nothing against Jerry Stackhouse.
All right. I'm gonna go. I'm starting Todd Day. I'm sorry. Todd Day was
crazy.
I hate that his game didn't translate to the NBA. I don't know if it's because he went with Milwaukee, with Mayberry and all that, but Todd Day was a beast. His game was sick, man. Like, could do everything. His game was silky smooth. Oh, man. We talking college now. Man, I got to start. Only reason why I'm going to start, I'm going to bench Ray Allen, like you said. His game was much better, but in college, Jerry Stackhouse was the man, and that was Mr. Yeah, I gotta. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna bench him. Cut Jerry Stackhouse. I hate to do it because he was the only one out of all of them was number one pick, but in the NBA. But that's what I'm going with.
You say who? Jerry Stackhouse wasn't number one pick.
Yes, he was. A Philly.
He was a first round pick.
I
He
thought-
was like the third or fourth pick.
Oh, third. I thought Philly had the first pick. They had Iverson the next year when they lost. My bad. But he was third pick. Yeah. With. Go ahead.
I got to start Jerry Stackhouse. Do you see? Yeah. I'm showing Rick the dunk on Cherokee Parks.
When he came around?
Remember that.
Yeah.
Remembers that.
Yeah, I remember that.
I am going to bring Ray Allen off the bench, and nothing against Todd Day.
I just don't know much about him.
Yeah,
I knew it. I knew it.
I know he played Arkansas. They went to a Final Four, but
All right, Dr. Fowler.
I'm going to start Ray Allen. I think he was the best all-around player. I know we're talking college, but clearly translated the best of the NBA too. I'm going to bring Todd Day off the bench, and I'm cutting Stackhouse. I'll throw out a little UNC bias there, and I mean anyone could dunk on Cherokee Parks. I feel like so that does impress me.
But it still happened. It happened. Though.
Cherokee Parks is awful.
Garbage. Go ahead. All right, and so you benching? You're gonna cut Jerry Stackhouse? You said?
Yeah, I'm Todd Day off the bench. Wish we could have seen more of him in the NBA or better of him in the NBA, and then cut him Stackhouse.
All right, so let's transition real quick. Mm-hmm. I want to go ahead and talk about Major League Baseball.
Let's do it.
G, you can turn the music off, man. We good.
Already did.
Oh, I thought it was transition to it because it was the end of the song. That was perfect timing then. Yeah. All right. So we talked about how it looks weird and everything. Baseball, though, I still think that it might be hope for him because, first of all, we saw something that we never seen before in Major League history, which I don't like. But Giannis Cespedes, that's how you say his name. I can't say his name. Right. Cespedes. I feel like I'm saying it wrong. Right. I know that I hear people say it's one of them names when you hear him say it,
be like,
but you still be like,
did I say it like
I don't
that?
say it. Anyway, he became the first DH hitter to homer between two National League teams. So I still don't like the fact that they doing DH.
I kind of like it because it helps my National League team.
But we always had hitters who could hit.
I mean, some.
But it's more than others.
You use more of them.
You Darvish can't.
Yeah, true.
Like, he can't even swing at it.
Right. But either or, I mean, that happened. But we talked about it earlier quickly with the coronavirus. Do you think that the MLB should be more cautious with that? Because I just wonder how it's going to play out.
Yeah, I think they should have. You think that Soto got infected and he didn't play Friday or Thursday. When did they open? Thursday or Friday?
Thursday. Yeah. And he didn't play.
And he's been around the entire team that entire time?
Right.
Yo.
I don't get that. Dr. Fowler, is he there? You still here?
Yeah,
okay.
Still here.
So your thoughts on this with Soto not playing because of the coronavirus, and then they went and played the game. I just knew I was going to see a headline, they're canceling the game. Does this ring like? I mean,
it's hard. I wish I kind of knew more. I mean, obviously, I still work with the Mets when you guys are talking about Cespedes, and when the Mets come down play the Braves next weekend, for the first time, I'm not going to be able to actually be there and cover them because of the quote-unquote bubble that they're having. I'm going to be on phone call away if they need anything, but I'm not allowed to be in the stadium. So I think they are taking it seriously. Soto reported late, and they said they did contact tracing, so I don't know if they were just keeping all the players far enough out on the field as far as taking their swings and throwing that they felt, with everyone, I guess, testing negative, that it was okay. But obviously I expect to see more positive tests as the season goes on.
Well, real quick before we ask the last question, just let them know if that's the case. If they plan on Saturday from 10:30 to like 10:50, you can't do it, like, because if you was at the game, you'd be calling anyway from the game, working on the player's leg. Yeah, no, I got Mike, but yeah, let them know that. But anyway, yeah, but so do you all agree with them extending the playoffs to, what is it, 8 teams now?
No, 16 teams.
16.
Yeah.
I thought I read that wrong. That's
it's 16 teams.
The 16 teams.
So 2 teams from every division.
Do you?
And then wild card teams.
Right.
And then the next team with the best record.
Yeah, well, they're doing 3 divisions still, right?
Yeah.
So it's number 1 and 2 in each division.
So that's 12. Then the 2 wild cards.
2 wild cards.
And then the next 2 teams with the best record.
No. So it's 2 wild cards from each league.
It's 2 wild cards.
So, but it's the top 2 teams in each division.
So that's what. So it's,
right.
All right, so that's 16.
Jeez.
Do you agree with that?
I mean,
why don't you just let all the teams play in the playoffs?
I think for this season it's going to be exciting, right? Because you're going to get baseball. But it's going to be an asterisk by all this. All of this going to have an asterisk.
Dr. Fowler, your thoughts?
I mean, I think I kind of liked a little bit of the exclusivity of only having the 5 teams and really only 4 after the wild card game was the playing game essentially was played. I mean, it's going to more of a NBA NHL model where you got 8 teams on each side and quarter, semis, finals kind of thing. So I mean, I guess I get it for short term with having a short season, but I don't really like it long term.
Right.
I think they're trying to churn out as much baseball as they can.
Right. Get them paid, whatever. All right, man. So you hear this music, that means the show is concluding. That's the end of the show. But we have a couple shout outs, and you need to stay tuned because you might be one of them. First, I want to give a shout out to the Almighty God for giving us this platform to do what we do, say what we say, to make you all mad, upset, want to give me the stop it button, which I've gotten a few today, but I appreciate it. I don't think it was warranted. I understand that, Bruce Smith. Anyway, also I want to thank our sponsors, Ortho Atlanta, for being there, sponsoring us. I want to thank our guests and Dr. Fowler. He's really not a guest. He's our cousin, but we appreciate you for coming on, man. While you're on the road, hitting speed bumps, we heard and everything. Appreciate that. Also, I want to thank G, and I want to thank my road dog, the intellectual.
Absolutely. We want to give a shout out to everybody for always listening. Even during this pandemic, y'all been down with us, rocking with us, making sure we stay on point. We appreciate that. Friends, family, always listening in. Again, a special shout out to Mike Scott, Tobias Harris, and LeBron for speaking their mind and letting us know that Breonna Taylor killers still need to be prosecuted. Everybody have a great week, and Breonna Taylor's killers need to be prosecuted.
All right, and I want to give a shout out to my beautiful wife, lovely children, all my cousins, aunties, uncles, brothers, sisters, grandparents, aunties and uncles, I think I already said that, and play cousins. Make sure you love them. Family, let them know that you love them while they're still alive. Go ahead and arrest Breonna Taylor killers. And y'all eat good. Be safe this weekend. Enjoy sports. So still fight for Breonna Taylor. Make sure y'all arrest Breonna Taylor's murderers and killers. And until then, next week, same time, same show, same crazy host, same sports nonsense. Arrest Breonna Taylor's murderers and killers. Will you miss me? I'm out. Peace.
Peace.
Arrest them killers. You just got done listening to the 3 Point Conversion Sports Lounge. Be sure to follow us on our Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook accounts at the 3 Point Conversion. And also make sure you check out our website, the3pointconversion.com. Be sure to follow us live and listen every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern.
How dare you?
You gonna learn today. You gonna learn today.
Stop it.